This is the moment of the Chimera Ant King's most monstrous act. Before his scheduled birth, he violently tore open the Ant Queen's womb and forced his way out. As the queen shrieked in agony, the colony's leaders rushed to her side, only to find a new figure standing. Next to her, the highly anticipated Chimera Ant King. The king's first demand was for his subordinates to bring him food. As the others stood in shock, the loyal ant, Peggy, arrived. Seeing the queen's severe injuries, he rushed to her side to tend to her wounds, but in an instant, the king beheaded him. While the other ants were still stunned, the king again ordered them to find him food. Noticing Colt's frozen gaze, the king told him to clean his tail. To ease the tension, the old turtle ant, Turtle, proudly offered his phone to help, unaware of the king's cold-blooded nature. In the blink of an eye, the king bit off Turtle's head. Facing the overwhelmingly powerful king, Colt had no choice but to obey. He carefully cleaned the king's tail, but when he looked up, he was even more horrified. He couldn't believe the king, whom he would one day serve, was eating the corpses of his own kind, all while complaining about how terrible they tasted. This sight shattered the morale of all the leaders. Just as the king was about to get angry, his 3 royal guards appeared. Neferpitou announced that she had prepared food for him. The king followed them away, and the other ants finally rushed to the queen's side to assess her injuries. After a thorough examination, they found the queen's condition was critical. Due to extensive blood loss, many of her organs were severely damaged, and a normal recovery was impossible. Colt, unwilling to let her die, decided to seek Neferpitou's help. However, she coldly stated that since the king had been born, the queen was of no use to them, and her survival was no longer a concern of the royal guards. Colt, refusing to give up, decided to find a way to save her on his own. Meanwhile, hearing that Neferpitou had prepared food for him and placed it on top of the queen, the king tore through a thick wall with a single punch. He then used the queen's body as a stepping stone to easily climb a large hill. From there, the king looked down upon the human world and spotted Colt, who had flown out of the nest to seek help. However, the king chose not to pursue him. After tasting the food Neferpitou had prepared, the king spat it out, calling it unpalatable. He stated that it couldn't compare to the delicious, rich food he had tasted inside the queen's womb. All he wanted was that food. Neferpitou, understanding his words, realized that the king was referring to human inabilities. To taste that power again, the king decided to visit a human village. Moments later, the king landed in a rural town. The villagers didn't even have time to see who had arrived before the king ruthlessly slaughtered them, not sparing even a little girl. But after tasting the humans, the king was disappointed. Seeing his dissatisfaction, Neferpitou proposed he go to the non-users in the human world.